अच्छा की बात नहीं किसका देख ले अगर मुझे पता चल गया मेरे यूजर्स है मेरे को भी ऐसा है आपने वीडियो को दरबार है तो मैं करता हूं आपके पास भी रखता हूं हमारा में बदल जाता है कितना शुरू को बना रहा है बैठ के घर पे तो क्या करेंगे दोनों में 10 अल्लाह की बताओ देखे अभी मैंने अल्लाह की कसम आपकी देना मुझे भी साथ दी तुम्हारी सबसे पहले आप लोग ही इसका बंदा बोलो भाई सच्चे खासे बन रहे हैं उसमें तो मुझे शौक नहीं है हम बोलेंगे हमारे भी पार्टी हमारे काट नहीं सकता बोलो मैं बोलो हमारे यही हमारे पास बोलो आप लोग कोई बटन नहीं कर मजे नहीं कर सीधी बात करेंगे वरना अच्छा नाम से तो अब तो चलो भाई तो मेरे बात सुनना है वाला में इधर आप लोग नहीं उनको भाई यार उसको कॉल करके पापा वो लड़की का दिख जाए तो बस उसको वाले गाड़ी वाला जिसके पास जनाब
जाए बंदा किधर जाए सर्जा की हो गया
उसको से और कहने के झाड़ पे खाओ चलो आपको तो पता है अगर आधे दिन में मसला आपके पास अड़ेगा ये चढ़ता है चढ़ने झाड़ पे बेटा हम क्या काम हो गया मेरे को इसको मैंने ऐसा झाड़ पे चढ़ाया था ना एकदम और आपको तो पता है सर हम आपके पास क्या काम किया था हमने नंबर उड़ाने थे ओ भाई काम हो गया आज दी तो भाई सर नदी भी था चलिए मैं आपके जमाने सब सुन रहे हो हमें हो गया कौन पढ़ी चलिए मेरे भाई को सही सोच आप सामने देखो सच में जब क्या मैं रिवीजन क्यों इधर म्यूट कर म्यूट करना है म्यूट करना म्यूट कर देंगे म्यूट ही है हम बात करें तो डिस्टर्बेंस क्या हम लोग बात करें आप उसमें तो वहां माइक ऑन है ना सेट अप हो जाएगा हां सारे हो गए ये और म्यूट क्यों आ रहा है यार ये अगर आप कर देंगे तो सब आप म्यूट हो जाएंगे और ये ऑप्शन आ रहा है और म्यूट हो जाएंगे अगर आपने इसके लिए तो ये सब बंद रहेंगे सबके माइक बंद रहेंगे नहीं नहीं मैंने तो उसको आपने अपना माइक बंद करना हां
Assalamualaikum, sir. Dr. Abdul Halim. Can you hear me? Sir, first of all, I would like to say thanks for giving us your valuable time and for providing us the opportunity to share your valuable knowledge and insights and your experience related to HRM with our students. Thank you once again. I would like to introduce you with my students. Dr. Abdul Halim is a full professor at the Department of Human Resource Management, School of Management, College of Business, University Uttara Malaysia. His area of research interest includes human resource management, pay and remuneration, work and career motivation, entrepreneurship. He has supervised PhD candidates and more than 20 master's dissertations. He also has it's not small, obviously, that clearly reflects your huge experience in not only HRM, human resource management, but also in research. Thank you once again, sir, for giving us your valuable time. And can you please let me know, can you switch on, just open your mic as well? You have a mic picture. Yeah. Assalamualaikum, sir. You have a picture of Mike on your screen, and if you will tap it, just speak up. I believe you have already opened your mic.
Yes.
Yeah. Assalamualaikum, sir.
Yeah. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
How are you?
Fine. Alhamdulillah. I'm okay. How about you and all others there?
Yeah, fine. Alhamdulillah, and students are also fine as much as they are for the examination. uh, Sir, after so long,
Can you hear me clearly?
uh, yeah, I can hear you.
Should I start now or
I, I believe you have switched off your camera.
is it okay now?
Shall we start now?
Yeah.
Do you want your videos as well? Okay, it's okay. Yes, sir. Now, over to you now.
All right. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin. Wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Alhamdulillah, I really hope everyone over there can hear me clearly. Any response so far? Just raise your hand. Can you hear me clearly? Okay, I think everyone is okay. So once again, thank you very much, Assistant Professor Dr. Nida, our moderator for today's session, honorable members of the management, distinguished faculty, and respected students. I'm pleased to have chance to see some of you, even though via online, but at least I can see some of the faces, smiling faces over there, waiting to hear whatever that I'll be sharing. And hopefully it'll be of benefits, not only to all of you there in Pakistan, but also to me in Malaysia. It is an immense privilege to stand or to have chance before such an assembly. We consider this as a webinar of forward-thinking leaders. I hope soon some of our respected students will be our future leaders, visionary educators, and aspiring scholars. I'm really pleased to have chance to see all of you today. Your dedication to excellence, your pursuit of knowledge, and your commitment to shaping the future of Pakistan are truly inspiring. Today, we engage in this webinar with ideas. Of course, I'll be throwing out some of my ideas so that we can benefit and we can share some views in ensuring the benefits in building our nation respectively can be materialized. So as far as the PowerPoint presentation is concerned, I really hope now over there in Pakistan, you can see my first slide with the UUM logo on the top. And the title of today's webinar that we are going to discuss is very much related to contemporary approaches to human resource management, leveraging HRIS, Human Resource Information System, and analytics for data-driven decision making. So briefly, as what Dr. Nida has shared with all of you, I'm Abdul Halim bin Abdul Majid, Department of Human Resource Management. Over here, we have School of Business Management, University Uttara Malaysia, um, and you can even jot down my email address, my mobile number, and also if you want to get more details in regard of my publication, you can easily click the ID there and you will see some of the publication that I have involved and I've shared with the general public through various platforms. All right. Okay. As an introduction, once again, I'm really pleased to have the chance to see all of you and to share my views in regard of the contemporary approaches to human resource management, leveraging human resource information system and analytics for data-driven decision making. So before we proceed to the discussion in regard of human resource approaches, I would like to provide a brief overview in regard of human resource management and its chronology, right? So originally, when we talk about human resource management, we have started with the so-called first wave. During the so-called first wave, we discussed so much in regard of human resource administration, whereby during the first wave, we discuss and we execute our function as administrative role. We work on regulatory functions. We deliver our HR services and few other administrative functions. So during the first wave, we are basically doing the administrative work. However, when we approach the so-called the second wave. During the second wave, we are talking about human resource practices, right? During the human resource practices, we are very much dealing with the design of essential human resource practices like hiring, career development, organizational structure, and work processes. So, as far as organizational structure is concerned, previously in the past, maybe 30 years ago, we have a very tall organizational structure. Then we start talking about flat structure. And these days, we are dealing with agile structure. Next, we move to third wave. During the third wave, we start talking about human resource strategy. So both human resource practices and business strategies are aligned. So that is very much the concept and the focus of human resource strategy, whereby the human resource practices that we have covered during the second wave and business strategies, like corporate strategies, are supposed to be aligned. So the initiatives and strategic moves need to be done in order to ensure both human resource practices and business strategies are always in line or always aligned. So during the third wave, we are also talking about strategic human resource that connects with human resource practices to ensure business success. So currently, we are so-called the fourth wave. So during the fourth wave, we are focusing and ensuring that our HR strategy, our HR practices, and all other functions that we are doing are connected to the broader context. So we move further from connecting HR to business, which we highlighted during the third wave, to connecting HR with the broader context of outside businesses. So these days, we are no longer dealing with a small, localized issues, but during the fourth wave, we are supposed to ensure whatever we do within our organization are very much connecting HR with the broader context of outside businesses. So locally, nationally, regionally, and globally, all our HR practices, all our HR strategies are supposed to be connected to the broader context of our environment outside. Dear respected students and faculty members, so some of the contemporary issues that we are facing today, we are very much being bombarded with the terminology of human resource transformation. But when we talk about human resource transformation, we are supposed to understand that previously we are talking about contextually congruence, which is very much inside outside approach. But now we are supposed to ensure during the human resource transformation, we move from just strategically congruence, which is the inside, looking at our strength, considering our weaknesses, to contextually congruence. So, in terms of the tools that we used previously, most of the companies are using SWOT, SWOT analysis, strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Now we are supposed to move from SWOT to TWS, and then we consider our weaknesses and strength. Right. As a note, recently, maybe for the last 7 to 10 years, we have been discussing about Industrial Revolution 4.0. But from our perspective, Industrial Revolution 4.0 acts as a catalyst of digital transformation in businesses that bring replacement of manual human resource practices into digitalization form of activities and function. So these days, when we talk about human resource transformation, we want to convince people out there, the human resource practitioners out there, our students in universities, that we are supposed to move from strategically congruent to contextually congruent. And this transformation is actually in line with the fourth wave, whereby we have to ensure human resource practices, human resource functions, human resource strategies connected to the broader context in our business environment locally as well as globally. So, given the scenario with the four waves with the human resource transformation, it creates and it develops some opportunities and directions for the near future. And I label this as human resource management prospect. Within the opportunities and direction for future, at least there are five propositions. The first proposition is that an outside inside approach is better than inside outside approach for favorable organizational outcomes. So I think this is also in line with the third and the fourth wave, whereby during the third wave, we are talking about human resource strategy. But during the fourth wave, we are connecting and ensuring human resource practices, human resource strategies are in line with the broader outside environment. The second proposition, my dear respected students and faculty members, the role of HR professionals is dependent on competent contribution of employees to support organizational policies and adding value. All right. So if you want to be a HR professional or you are currently considered yourself as human resource professional, we need to ensure that we have to admit that it is still dependent on the commitment and contribution as well as competencies of our employees. Without the employees' competence, without their commitment, and without their engagement, we may not be able to support our organizational policies and adding values to our business operation. The third proposition, there is a need to identify and strengthen existing organizational capabilities plus building emerging capabilities such as innovation, creativity, networking, and risk management. So again, just to strengthen and to reiterate, whatever we have today may be enough for yesterday. Let me say it again. Whatever we have today, our organizational capabilities, our individual competencies that we have today may be sufficient for yesterday. And perhaps to a certain extent, it is okay for today. But we are not sure that our individual competencies that we possess today, that our organizational capability that we have today will be sufficient to sustain our competitive advantage for tomorrow. So therefore, we need to ensure the innovation, the creativity, the networking and risk management are always an ongoing process where we keep update ourselves to ensure we are relevant today and still relevant for tomorrow. That is the third proposition. Let's move on to the fourth proposition. The fourth proposition is indicated that human resource professionals need to further improve the alignment, integration, and innovation to holistically transform HR roles and paradigm. So what sort of transformation that we are talking about? So please recall the previous slide. During the first and also the second slides that I have highlighted earlier, it has indicated that when we talk about human resource transformation, we are actually dealing and moving from strategically congruence to contextually congruence. And therefore, this proposition has highlighted the fact that we need to further improve the alignment, the integration, innovation to ensure a holistic transformation of HR in terms of our roles and our paradigm. So when we talk about paradigm, we are talking about the mindset of those HR professionals. We are talking about the mindset of HR students in universities and at different places in different capacities in different parts of the world. The same goes to the paradigm shift. We used to hear that people are talking about the need to have paradigm shift. Therefore, in the context of HR, we also need to ensure we have the same, which is to shift our paradigm to ensure the mindset that we develop today is actually still relevant for tomorrow. And finally, the fifth proposition here is that human resource professionals need to be competent in HR analytics. Again, it is also in line with our title that we are discussing today. We are talking about leveraging human resource information system and analytics for data-driven decision making. So proposition number 5, requiring all of us to ensure that we develop within ourselves to be competent in HR analysis. So as far as the contemporary approaches, so this is actually trying to address whatever that we have highlighted in the focus of our webinar today. So I have highlighted 4 approaches and I leave one. And perhaps I'm not sure whether there will be an interactive opportunity where I put number 5. What do you think? But before I ask you what do you think of the contemporary approaches to human resource management, let me just briefly explain to you the first 4 that I have reviewed. The first is very much related to employee experience and well-being. These days, we are talking about mental health, well-being. So all those need to be highlighted, and we have to address this within the capacity of human resource management. So modern human resource management need to emphasize in creating a positive workplace environment, focusing on mental health, focusing on work-life balance as well as employee satisfaction. So in the context of universities, faculty members, academics, administrators need to ensure we create a positive and conducive workplace and study environment in the university context. And we also have to consider the importance of ensuring our students, our staff, our employees, and whoever involved in the business operation are having an acceptable level of mental health and they have some kind of work-life balance and they're satisfied with whatever they are doing. So companies need to invest in some sort of flexible work arrangement, wellness programs, and supportive cultures. So considering the employee experience and well-being, there are a lot that we need to do. So in terms of hiring process, in terms of training, in terms of performance management, human resource information system, and all other human resource functions are needed to be integrated to ensure a positive employee experience and well-being are going to be taken care. The second that I have highlighted here is very much related to data-driven decision making. In the past, perhaps 30 years ago or 25, we decide, just a split second. whatever that we want to do, we just do it, and not much of data being analyzed in making decision. So these days, one of the contemporary approaches that we are talking about is that human resource management now really need to have some kind of HR analytics and AI. I think this is another popular term today, which is artificial intelligence to enhance recruitment, performance management, and employee engagement. So predictive analytics help organizations to make an informed decision about talent acquisition as well as workforce planning. So all these are actually in line with our discussion. So leveraging human resource information system, data analytics in order to have a data driven resource decision making. Meanwhile, the third approach is labeled as diversity, equity, and inclusion. So organizations need to prioritize its diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives to create more inclusive workplaces. This includes equitable hiring practices, unconscious bias training, as well as fostering diverse leadership. Finally, the fourth one is continuous learning and development. So, human resource has shifted from traditional training to a culture of continuous learning. Therefore, upskilling, reskilling, and micro learning platforms are commonly used to keep employees adaptable in a rapidly changing business landscape. So I leave it the fifth, the sixth, of course, whatever that I highlighted here under the level of contemporary approaches are not conclusive. Therefore, I put number five, and I hope you can fill up in the blank, fill up the blank. Right? So perhaps if you were to have the chance to see face to face, to meet face to face, to have a discussion, maybe we can offer to the floor to suggest whatever your views in regard of other approach related to human resource management. All right. So, given all those from the first, second, third, and fourth slides, what do we need to prepare within ourselves? At least there are four elements that we need to prepare. The first is physical and mental agility. So the awareness of changing world to be more uncertain should be in our mindsets to enable us to have the ability to adapt quickly and change accordingly to the changing needs. That is the first one. So we are supposed to be ready to move from one to another in terms of geography. And in terms of mental agility is also another important component. So we have to be ready so that we can adapt quickly because our future will be more uncertain than the present. The second element is very much about invest in future. So what do we need? So technology keeps on developing every single day and every single hour or minutes. Uh, right? Thus, we should continuously improve or equip ourselves in the aspect that we could help our organization to grow and be sustainable. So we have to invest ourselves. We have to update our knowledge, keep on so-called lifelong learning, attending short courses from time to time to have some kind of new skills. So we are dealing with the some kind of upskilling and reskilling so that we'll be ready for the changes in the environment. The third, redesign strategies. So technology was fundamentally mediates the changes. So there is a need to revisit current strategies and reset with comprehensive strategy to enhance, to sustain, and to deliver our value at scale. And finally, of course, when we talk about Pakistan and Malaysia, at least in the context of today's webinar, so we should consider collaborating with others in order to succeed. So successful partnerships or collaborations are becoming keys to our long-term sustainability. So given the opportunity today, we, of course, from Malaysia, really welcome for any partnership or any collaboration so that we can develop and share whatever so that we can sustain our long-term sustainability in our respective capacity. Now we move on to the second aspect of our discussion. The first was very much related to contemporary approaches to human resource management. But another important aspect that we have jotted down in the title was very much leveraging human resource information system and analytics for data-driven human resource decision making. Of course, we can make a lot of other decisions, but in this context, I'm focusing within the human resource context. So in order to be able to leverage whatever we have, in this context, we are going to leverage human resource information system and analytics in order for data-driven decision making. We have to be strategic. Again, we have to talk about strategic human resource management. We have to think in a bigger box. And of course, some of you may be very familiar with a phrase that we are thinking outside the box. So whatever it is very much related to the way we think, the way we plan, and whatever we think, whatever we plan, supposed to be in a more strategic manner. So what is meant by strategic human resource management? At least strategic human resource management has four meanings. At least, you can have more than that. Or you can combine the definitions. But from my perspective, at least there are four meanings. The first is the use of planning. How do we plan for our talent? How do we plan for our organization? So the use of planning is one of the meanings related to strategic human resource management. How do we plan human resource management? So a second one is a coherent approach to the design and management system based on whatever policy within our context. The third, matching HR activities or HR programs or HR policies to some explicit business strategy. Because we are actually trying to position human resource management as a strategic partner to all other functions in the organization. And the fourth, perhaps in this context, and the fourth meaning of strategic human resource management that you may want to consider is about seeing the people of the organization as a strategic resource for achievement of competitive advantage. So every single one in the organization are supposed to engage in ensuring we as an organization can achieve our competitive advantage. So all in all, the aims of strategic human resource management is to generate strategic capability by ensuring that the organization has the needed skills, committed, well-motivated employees, because we need those to achieve a sustainable competitive advantage. So as for now, is there any question or you want me to just move forward? Right. So let me try to be to be straight to the point. Now, there are some suggested steps and actions. The first is applying the concept of strategy to managing a firm's human resources. It's very straightforward. You can just copy this put it somewhere on your table, and then you follow the steps. So apply the concept of strategy to managing a firm's human resources. Understand key elements of all characteristics of a strategic approach to human resource management and explicitly recognizes the impact of the outside environment. So the outside inside is claimed is better than the inside, the outside. So outside environment presents a set of opportunities and threats to organization. So that's why in line with the tool, TOWS, threats, opportunities, and weaknesses as well as strength. Hmm. Next, recognizes the threats and opportunities in each area and attempt to capitalize on the opportunities while minimizing the effect of threats. Explicitly recognizes the impact of competition and the dynamics of the labor market. So Pakistan labor market, nation labor market, our regional labor market, our global labor market, all those need to be considered. So labor market dynamics of wage rates, unemployment rates. In Pakistan, you have your own wage rates or minimum wage, whatnot, or unemployment rates, and so all those are needed to be considered. Working conditions, benefits levels, minimum wage legislation, and competitor reputation all have an impact on and are affected by strategic human resource decision. So if you were to make decisions, of course, by leveraging human resource information system analytics will be of a great help to achieve whatever that we want to set here. The fourth is has a long range focus to set the long range direction of company's HR style and basic approach. Strategy can change depends on the initial flexibility and management philosophy. So changes of top management may lead to some changes in the strategy. Anyway, whatever we set for a long range focus should be continued and should be valued by whoever manage or become a top management of the organization. Finally, I'm suggesting that we need to focus on the issues of choice and decision making. So strategy implies choosing among alternatives of course, when we want to decide, there should be few alternatives. And given the alternatives, then we have to choose the best. And of course, there might be some contingency, right? So implies making decision or major decisions about human resource, commit the organization resources towards a particular direction, and we concentrate on what should the organization do and how, why, when, and where. So it's very common. We used to have all these four W's: what, why, when, and where. That's why, as well as one H or the how. So considers all personnel, regardless of their categories, either they are hourly or operational employees or top management executives, all are needed to be considered. And hopefully, by considering all personnel, we are going to have a better chance to sustain our competitive advantage. Dear respected students and faculty members, the strategic human resource management approach views all managers as HR managers. This is another paradigm, right? This is another view. This is another perspective. Previously, when we talk about marketing manager or finance manager, they are managers in their capacity. But from the strategic human resource management approach, we consider all managers, regardless of their departments. They are also HR managers. They must take responsibility for efficient and effective use of their subordinates. Their subordinates are human resource. Their subordinates are people. So they are also managing people in their respective departments. So from our perspective, from our paradigm, we are considering all managers as HR managers. However, they are considered as a generalist, not specialist. For example, human resource department therefore is supposed to become a watchful eye that frees up the line managers across the organization by helping with the people-related business issues and working with line managers to report the issues and also to resolve issues. So HR manager and line manager must become knowledgeable about HR issues. Again, just to repeat, whoever become managers, not only human resource managers, in whatever capacity, we're supposed to have at least a general knowledge about HR issues, HR approach, and how to resolve some of the problems that we are facing in managing our respective subordinates in our respective contexts. So next, environment organization, the strategic fit in formulating strategy, the firms seek to take the advantage of opportunities while minimizing the threats. This has been highlighted earlier, but to go a bit deeper, the firm learns of its environmental through a scanning process, and it is the first step to strategic planning and strategic formulation. So the firm analyzes the competitive and try to achieve a sustainable competitive advantage. The market analysis is also important. It's determining critical success factors or key to success. And finally, technology has also has a major impact on strategy formulation, on HR strategy, as well as HR decision making. So integrating HR in strategic decisions, strategy formulation is a dynamic process, evolutionary and subject to change as outside environmental conditions. So HR impact of decision can be viewed from 4 perspectives: capital versus labor, strategic decision impact on people in the organization, political influences in human resource management, HR unit in strategic decision, which also play major role, or level of staff involvement in decision. Yes. All right. So perhaps I just try to wrap up. So just to highlight briefly, models of HRM, we have business-oriented model, we have strategic fit model. Of course, I can share the slide to all of you. You can refer to this later. So formulating a corporate and HR strategy, manager must consider several strategic choices, choosing the strategy that the company should adopt to maintain or improve its position in the marketplace, ensuring continued sales growth and maintenance of its workforce to avoid retrenchment and layoff, adapting to its ever-changing environment, collecting the information it needs to understand and influence its environment, and finally to determine whether to change operating environment. If so, the question to which and why. All right. So again, all this, I think I want to skip. There are 3 primary factors. Strategy formulation is an attempt to anchor the organization to some position in the future, and strategy is heavily laden with the personal philosophies and codes of ethics of key decision makers in an organization. So stakeholders analysis, societal forces. So in brief, I can sum up all those key factors with this diagram. Competitor actions, environmental opportunities and threats, internal strength and weaknesses, as well as whatever action that we propose to be the next course of action to be taken. All right, so external and global environment for HR, change and diversity, environment, opportunities and threats, right decisions, and of course, with considering all those environments, there's the so-called environmental scanning. We come up with strategic decisions, and with strategic decision, we address the organization purpose, mission, basic direction, and goals. So these are very much of the straightforward points. What do we mean by societal environment? What do we mean by task environment? So at the end of the day, considering all those strategies, so the outcomes of strategic human resource management supposed to increase performance, to increase customer and employee satisfaction, and of course, to enhance shareholders' values through all those effective management of staffing, cost-effective utilization of employees, integrated HR programs and policies, facilitation of change and adaptation, tighter focus on customer needs, key and emerging markets, as well as quality. So 5 specific competencies: strategic contribution, business knowledge, personal credibility, HR delivery, as well as HR technology. So this is a model. Of course, this model is not comprehensive, it's not conclusive, but we can edit and improve accordingly whenever needed. So these are some of the barriers to strategic HR: short-term mentality, inability of HR to think strategically, lack of appreciation for what HR can contribute, failure to understand, difficulty in quantifying, perception of human assets as higher risk investment, as well as incentive for changes that might arise. So these are some of the possible barriers. So finally, there are some suggested ways to leverage HRIS, human resource information system analytics for data-driven HR decision making. What can be done or how should be done? So this is how to talent acquisition and optimization. So we can consider using predictive analytics to identify hiring trends, to assess candidates' suitability, improve recruitment strategies. AI-driven or artificial intelligence-driven platforms help match candidates with job roles based on skills as well as experience. This can be considered. So this is one of the ways. So the second, employee performance, leverage real-time dashboards to track productivity, engagement, and key performance metrics. This enables HR teams to recognize top performers and address underperformance proactively. We are here talking about proactively. The third, workforce planning and forecasting. We can utilize human resource information system to analyze staffing needs, turnover rates, and succession planning. So predictive models help organizations prepare for future talent demands. Number 4, in the context of compensation and benefits analysis, so we can apply analytics to assess talent competitiveness, to identify gaps in benefits and packages, and to optimize compensation structure to improve employee retention. There are 3 more: employee engagement and satisfaction tracking. We can use sentiment analysis tools to evaluate feedback from surveys, social platforms, and internal communication. This helps identify areas for improving workplace culture. And these are the final 2. So diversity, equity, and inclusion that has been highlighted earlier. So what can be leveraged? So we track demographic data, we promotion rates, hiring trends to assess diversity and equity in the organization. Analytics help ensure inclusive policies and equitable advancement opportunities. Finally, just another final suggestion, because this is not everything. You may add on whenever needed. So in terms of training and development enhancement, so we can leverage the learning analytics to measure training effectiveness, to personalize learning paths, and to improve upskilling initiatives. So these are some of the suggested steps in leveraging human resource information system and analytics for data-driven HR analytics or HR decision making. So in short, human resource information system and analytics can transform decision making by providing real-time insights and enabling strategic workforce management. So I hope by considering all those, we have covered 2 sections. The first one, contemporary approaches to human resource management. Then we are talking about leveraging human resource information system and analytics for human resource, data-driven human resource decision making. Right? So with those, I hope you can consider and apply accordingly whenever needed in your respective capacity. If there are, issues, we can collaborate, we can always communicate, and we can try to ensure the benefits of all these points are going to be of a mutual benefits, not only to all of you there in Pakistan, but also to all of us here in Malaysia. With that, thank you very much, and hopefully it will be of benefits to both sides and to all of us. So back to you, Dr. Nida. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to share.
Thank you so much, sir, for despite obviously the trouble that was encountered because of internet or connectivity. However, we actually had some very great insights of that day. And HR, and obviously with the continuous transformation of technology and with continuous advancement of technology, everyone has to keep abreast with the changing trends and when we are continuously in talks of the replacement of AI, replacement of humans with AI. So we have to obviously work continuously. We have to update our knowledge accordingly in order to tackle AI for our use rather than being tackled by AI in the future. And that's it, sir. Hello. Sir, can you hear me?
No, not clear, Dr. Nida. Sorry, I can barely hear you.
I've actually shared a Zoom link with you on your WhatsApp. Can we switch to Zoom for a while?
So, do you mean that now we can move from Google Meet to Zoom or what?
Okay, just switch to Google Meet. Can we have the okay? Have we got back the connection right now? Say, can you please see me now, sir? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. It was such a wonderful session, and we all were
Thank you very much.
obviously getting the knowledge from you. And it was actually not. It was not only the sharing of human resource information system or the analytics and data-driven decision making, rather the sharing obviously worldwide because you are on the other side of the on the map and we are here. But again, Malaysia is one of those countries that obviously we count as a long-lasting friend. So
Yeah,
I to share my experience with you people when I came to Malaysia for
thank you very much.
the conference, and at that particular time, obviously that was a memorable experience with you people, hospitality, and obviously the way you treated us. So inshallah, we are going to have such wonderful sessions in the future as well. And it was great pleasure. So, do you have any plans to come to Pakistan anytime soon?
Inshallah soon. I'm not sure when, but I hope there will be opportunity for me to visit all of you again in Pakistan.
It's been
Inshallah.
long. I remember we last met in Malaysia. However, before that, in Multan, Multan.
Yeah. Yes. I visited Multan 2 times already, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Uh,
Uh, so actually,
and Karachi as well. You are in Karachi, right?
yeah, and I came to Malaysia as well when we were having the
Okay. All right. I think the internet connection is not stable. I can see you, but I cannot hear you now.
inshallah,
Inshallah. All
inshallah.
right.
Thanks.
Okay.
Allah Hafiz.
Bye. Okay, thank you very much. Wish you all the best. Keep in touch. Okay. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.